The Denver Broncos made one of the worst trades in recent history. Russell Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos along with the 4th-round pick by the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle traded him for 2 second-round picks, 1 5th-round pick, quarterback Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant. Then Wilson agreed on a 5-year, $245 million contract extension just before the start of the 2022 season. The deal, which includes $165 million guaranteed, was to keep Wilson in Denver for the next 7 years. Wilson's first season with the Denver Broncos was a departure from the success he had with the Seattle Seahawks. The Broncos had one of the worst offenses in the league, with Wilson having passed for 3,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, along with 55 carries for 277 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in the 2022 season. In February 2023, the Broncos organization decided a change was needed and brought in new head coach Sean Payton. Payton, who watched the Broncos from afar, had this to say: "It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was," said Sean Payton. Payton also said that he felt like Russ still had a lot of juice left and was excited to work with the former Pro Bowl quarterback. In the start of the 2023 season, it seemed nothing had changed. It was the same Denver Broncos and the same Russell Wilson from last year. In the first 7 games, the Denver Broncos were 2-5 and suffered one of the worst losses in NFL history. They lost to the Miami Dolphins 70-20. I still can't believe that actually happened. It's more of a college football score than NFL score. But then, suddenly a flip switched within this organization, and the Broncos pulled off 5 straight wins. They beat the Chiefs twice. They also beat the Bills, Packers, and Vikings during this span. It finally looked like they figured something out and could be a playoff team. Russ wasn't playing great by any means, but he was good enough and didn't have many turnovers during this time span. But then, the Denver Broncos came back to earth and lost their next 3 out of 4 games, and now they are currently 7-8. And now, it seems Russell Wilson's time with the Denver Broncos is over. The Denver Broncos have benched Russell Wilson for the remainder of the season. Sean Payton stated that they needed a change, so that means Jarrett Stidham is now the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Stidham, who only has 956 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions in his career, is now the starter. I mean, you have to question this decision, because they just ended Russell Wilson's season with him passing for 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. I mean, if you compare his touchdown to interception ratio against other quarterbacks like Lamar, Mahomes, or even Trevor Lawrence, Russ has better stats. So it's interesting how you bench your franchise quarterback while you're so-called pushing for a playoff spot. I mean, it's obvious what this organization is doing. They want to lose these next 2 games so they can get a better draft pick. They also want Russ to avoid an injury, because it will be a financial burden with Wilson's upcoming deal. The 9-time Pro Bowler will make an additional $37 million in guaranteed money if he can't pass a physical in March. So an injury in the final 2 games of the season would be catastrophic to Denver's financial flexibility this offseason. Do you agree with what this organization is doing with Russell Wilson?